Hey up everybody, and welcome back to the Aldo Cycling YouTube channel, where today we're going to be taking a look at the Circuit Franco-Belge, which is the next round of the Superclasico. We haven't had a Superclasico race in quite a while now, so it's time to get back on this grind. It's sort of in like the second half of Superclasico, so it's time to kind of get back on this and see how we can do. It's important to note that there is still, like, the update hasn't happened yet with the riders yet on the Velogames, so there's still some riders to be added, but a lot of the main players are in. So Mark Hirschi, 24 credits. I mean, I feel like he's a really good one to be picking. He did really well recently in a race. I can't remember exactly the name of it. The Boucle de Mayenne, he finished second on a stage behind Bettiol, which was a very hilly stage, so therefore I think that Hirschi's really good for this race because it's got a berg to the finish. It's the one which DeLee won ahead of Corbin Strong and Rasmus Tiller last year, if you remember that one. It's usually a bit later on in the season, but they brought it forward this year. So Hirschi's really good. He's very suited to this finish. Lampard, I just haven't seen enough of this year. There's also going to be Biniam Girmay in the 22 bracket here. He's just not here yet. He will be a really good one to be picking as well. He's done well recently. He's recovered seemingly very well from that Giro d'Italia. I don't think he had any broken bones, but he seems to be going quite well. He came second in a sprint in a German race. I can't remember exactly the name of it, but he came behind Casper Van Uden. So Binny will be a good one. Groves is an interesting one. I'm apprehensive to select him based upon the fact that he has finished the Giro what was on Sunday, and this race is happening on the Wednesday, which gives him 2 days of recovery time, and in one of those days he's got to have flown from Italy back to Belgium. So 2 days of recovery time after a Grand Tour. I'm just not certain about Groves. People do talk about the tour legs and whatever, where they go really well after a Grand Tour, but for me, I just think Groves is a little bit risky, but in theory, this race is very suited to him. Milano, again, very similar to Groves. He's just done a Grand Tour. I don't think it's suited for Milano either. To be honest, they'll probably go for Hirschi. At least Groves has the advantage of he's kind of suited to this race. Milano, I wouldn't choose. Tiller is good. He's finished on the podium this race in the past. He's shown decent form recently. He'll probably come inside the top 10. Zingler, very similarly, he's a very good one to be picking. He's probably one of the few riders who you really need to be picking alongside Hirschi and maybe a couple of others. 16 credit riders. Corbin Strong is not on the start list, so don't make that mistake. But honestly, the 16 credits of Rota and Turnison aren't really enticing me either. Neither of them have shown particularly great form. The 14 credit riders, Capio has been good recently in the 4 days, but actually 6 days of Dunkirk. He was up there in a lot of those sprints because Demar wasn't really doing much. And yeah, I think that Capio is alright for this race. I'm not sure how he goes on uphill finishes. I remember he did good in the Muscat Classic. He won that earlier this year, but that was a flat finish after a climb. So maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure how he goes on a finish on an uphill. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, other 14 credit riders, none of them particularly fantastic. You could pick another RK rider in Seneschal, but he hasn't been in the best form. Albanese will more than likely be their leader. I think him and Capio will probably be the leaders, and they'll try and get two in the top 10. Albanese has been looking decent, so I would say that he's a good one to be picking. You got the Israel Premier Tech duo of Sheehan and Van Asbrook. Sheehan wasn't great in the 4 days of Dunkirk for some reason. I don't know why, but he wasn't. But in the 3 one-day races before then, he was looking really good. So I'm not sure whether he's just really good at one-day racing and just stage racing isn't his thing. So saying that, he is probably going to be a very good pick for Israel Premier Tech. They say they're trying to get a podium or, repeat the result from last year. So that's going to be either Sheehan, Van Asbrook, or Joseph Blackmore they're going to be picking. So classic Israel Premier Tech, they're stacking up, and we don't really know who they're going to be leading with. But I'd say that Sheehan, I don't know. It could be it honestly could be any of them. If you've got any more insight, put that in the comments, because that could be very useful for us all. Stan Van Tricht, if you don't think that Groves is in, race kind of, I don't know, he's going to be that competitive because he's just done a Grand Tour, maybe Stan Van Tricht could be the one that they go with instead. Jenno Berkmoos is a really good pick for Lotto Destiny. He's been looking super strong recently, and I'd say that he's a really strong one to be going with. He was up there again in that 4 Days of Dunkirk on that day where Sam Bennett won stage 5, the one with the up and down circuit. He was 3rd place on that stage, so he'll be a really good one to be picking. Blackmore obviously had a very good start to the season. Hasn't done quite as well recently. The results don't really show, fantastic form at the moment, but it's very possible that he's, maybe he was just a domestique in those races, so therefore those aren't very reflective of his results. Lars Boven could also be a good shout for Alpecin de Koenig if Groves isn't the main man, but again, it's a little bit of a risk going with somebody who may or may not be the leader based upon somebody else doing badly. Other 8 credit riders, I really like Luca van Boven because, again, he's just been looking super strong on a lot of these uphill finishes. It seems like really his cup of tea to be doing those sorts of finishes, so I think that he's going to be a real good one to possibly finish inside the top 10. And then the 6 credit riders, I haven't actually looked this far down because I haven't needed to. Emilian Jonier has been looking in good form recently, especially in the Boucle de Mayenne, so he would be one I would highlight. But other than him, like, this is literally my first time getting this far down the start list. None of them are particularly great. Don't get confused. Axel Delis is not Arnaud Delis. That they are 2 different people. Antoine Ubi possibly could be good for Soudal Quickstep because they don't have a big leader in this race. Yeah, I don't know. Sam LaRue has been alright in some races this year, but there are just better riders. Like, you really don't need to be crawling down in the 4 credits. I don't think any of them are showing particularly great form. So yeah, this is my team at the moment. Very quick video. Obviously, Lampard is in here as a placeholder for where Binny's going to end up going. I'm on 98 credits. To be honest with you, I don't think the best team will cost 100 credits. I think it's very possible that it could cost less than that. So, as I'd say, as long as you've got Hershey and you've got Axel Zingler in there, I'd say you can go pretty, and probably Binny as well. I think your other 3 riders can be relatively free reign. But let me know what you're thinking in the comment section down below, if you've got any insights on any riders, and also who you're thinking of picking. And all that is left to say is to stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Salut!